So keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So bring your attention to this bell sound and follow the sound, please. While you focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these meditation sessions, we mainly try to give some information regarding tranquility meditation and how to develop your vipassana meditation. So, tranquility meditation means in the beginning, you bring the calmness, and it calls samatha bhavana. You settle down your mind and you develop undisturbed mind and stay in one pointness. So when you have undisturbed mind, your mind become clear, sharp, and calm. With that clear mind, in vipassana, we thoroughly, deeply observe our own inner experience, how things come to be as they are. So mainly, when it go to vipassana, we observe our form, feeling, sensation, formations, and recognition. In another way, matter, feeling, perception, formations, and recognition. So when we observe these five aggregates, mainly we recognize impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, and selflessness. Arising, existing, and disappearing, this form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition. Through that way, we come to clear understanding what is the impermanent and what is the meaning of unsatisfactory nature and what is the meaning of selflessness. So when we practice the meditation, in the beginning, to practice tranquility meditation, we take a mental object. We call it primary mental object. And another way we call the nimitta, the workplace. So as a nimitta, as a primary mental object, we mainly take our own inhalation and exhalation and follow the inhalation, exhalation and settle down with it. So we develop undisturbed mind. And then when it go to vipassana level, we completely become free from everything and we just focus to the experience and see how things always changing as it is. And in vipassana meditation, you don't follow certain primary object. So whatever the sensation or the feeling or even the recognition or so whatever arises, you go with it. And another way in vipassana meditation, there is a way that is we call four foundation: kaya anupassana, contemplating the body, Vedananupasana, contemplating the feelings, Chittanupasana, contemplating the thoughts, Dhammanupasana, contemplating the phenomena. So here contemplating means not think over, not think about something. You completely with the empty and free mind, you observe and recognize and see. So when tranquility meditation, you already develop a skill to see things as it is. But in Vipassana, what is happening? Your seeing ability become more sharper and clear. And with that ability, when you see something, you recognize how it come to be as it is. So that is where you recognize in the cause and effect. So once you recognize something, depending on the cause and effect, so whatever the experience, depending on cause and effect, then it is possible to change. So then again, you go to recognize the impermanent. And if something impermanent or something depending on cause and effect, it doesn't have permanent structure. And even it doesn't bring any kind of permanent feeling or the solution to something, unsatisfactory nature. If something depends on cause and effect, then there is no self because it depends on cause. If it is depend on self, then there is no need the cause. Then it should be permanent. So when you observe deeply, you recognize it the cause and effect. If you are able to see the cause and effect, how things come to be as they are, naturally your mind get all the solutions to all the questions. But to seeing it like that way, you have to do it. It is a skill. Why? Because through the samsaric journey, we have a habitual pattern in our mind to see. And our thinking pattern, our formations, our habits, or everything come when we experience something. So when we experience something, it is very difficult to recognize what is the real experience. Because most of things we manifest inside our mind. So, but when it comes to the Vipassana, you able to come to very clear understanding regarding this all things. And when we practice the Vipassana, and when we go with this meditation, so in the tranquility meditation, as you know, we observe the inhalation, exhalation. And it go with the long inhalation, short inhalation, beginning, middle, end, the length and the depth, and some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So we go like that way and recognize the inhalation, exhalation very clearly. And that recognition slowly bring the tranquility state. Your mind, body, and the breathing start to settle down as one. So in the Vipassana, so even if you start from the body, and when you observe the body, and then it take you, the body going to disappear, and then going to take you to the feeling. If you keep observing the feeling little by little, feelings going to disappear, it going to take you to the thoughts. You keep observing the thoughts, it going to disappear slowly, you're going to see the phenomena or the nature or the cause and effect. So even if you take any sensation and keep observe, or whatever the sound or any experience, whatever come to you, if you keep observe that, you're going to see how things change always. And that way also you take that path and you deeply go to recognize the change and to see the change. Seeing the change and seeing the cause and effect, dependent origination, seeing this pattern is the bottom line. And when we practice meditation, in the beginning, we can practice samatha meditation or tranquility meditation. And then we can go to vipassana meditation, or in the beginning we can practice the chitta bhavana, that is tranquility meditation. Then we can go to panya bhavana, vipassana meditation or insight meditation. Or if you are a very skillful person and you are already know, and directly you can go to the vipassana meditation. As example, when something happened, directly you see the change. Directly you recognize the impermanent. So like that way, you can go to that. Directly you see the feeling. Directly you see the formation. Directly you see the mind. And then you can come to tranquility meditation. This both way. And then you can interrogate. You can practice this both at once. That samatha meditation or chitta bhavana or tranquility meditation and insight meditation. This both, how when the inhalation happen, you settle down with the inhalation, and at the same time you see how the inhalation change, and in how the inhalation impermanent, how it's selfless, and how it bring the unsatisfactory nature. You settle down with the inhalation, start with the tranquility meditation, and at the same time you see the change. So that way. And another way, sometimes Buddha mentioned this threefold way. So this mindfulness meditation in threefold way, the same details, same informations, but it is like this. Internally you observe, and externally you observe, and then the both way you observe. So when it comes to vipassana level, your body, internally you observe, externally you observe. Form, feeling, sensation, formation. So that is 5 aggregates, internal. And the external is that your physical structure. So that is one way. There are many ways. Different meditation masters explain in different ways. So internal means your body, you are. External means other people. So that way also, that it bring kind of like when you think about may all living beings be well and happy. So in the beginning you say, may I be well and happy, and may all living beings be well and happy. May I be well and happy. Internally you observe, may all living beings be well and happy. Externally you observe. And so like that way. And so here internal is come to 5 aggregates, and then external, another way explain, your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. Because sometimes Buddha mentioned as the world, this body, not the outside world. So this bodily experience. So internal means form, feelings, sensation, formation, recognition, or another way, matter, feelings, perception, and formation, and the recognition. And the external means your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. So it's like that way. And the both means when you see something, you recognize how the eye consciousness arises, and then at the same time how the reactions happens. That's mean you recognize eye consciousness arise, and related to that form, feeling, recognition, and this all the 5 aggregates. And when it comes to the body, and when you have any feelings, you recognize the bodily structure. Physically, you recognize the body, that is external. You are aware about the body, and then the feelings that you gain it is external. And then interrogating this both, recognizing that another way of practicing threefold way. So it is sometimes, if you kind of like deeply into meditation, then you can understand this sometimes. But basically, today I'm going to tell you a technique with the tranquility meditation and using this inhalation, exhalation, how you can practice this threefold way. So that will giving you another dimension, and it will help you to jump to a different level of experience to see things. Because when we see things, when we experience things, always we divide. That divisions allow us to take decisions. So mostly in day-to-day life, that our decisions depend on the divisions, and that divisions come out of our the whatever the place we hold. And when you change your place and you're going to recognize something else, you experience it in a different way. Your viewpoint going to become change when you change the position. So like that way, it has a different, another way to talk about it. But what I'm trying to tell, through this way, your mind can experience something than kind of like this ordinary conventional experience. That is the way of the vipassana. Because when you come to that, you come to a point to recognize that you don't have a view, but you experience you don't have a view. That get out of the self view is another way of vipassana. So then how, using the inhalation exhalation, you can practice this threefold way. So one is this: when you observe, when you focus your mind to the sensation, recognizing this is inhalation, this is exhalation, that is external recognition. When you observe and following the sensation, nothing else, not visualizing, dreaming, thinking, or doing something or like that. You don't go like that way. Just completely become empty, and when the sensation arises, you don't make it happen. When the sensation arises itself, you recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. That is external way of meditation. And what is the internal way of meditation? So when you observe that way, and another thing is, remember this very carefully, and don't misunderstand. So this is very important, because sometimes if you misunderstand it, you go start to do it kind of like a exercise, or like a pranayama breathing exercise. But this is not like that. And another way is, when the inhalation exhalation happen, what happening deeply, you can recognize your whole body moving up and down like a balloon. This naturally your body reacting to inhalation exhalation. So mainly you feel it in three places. One is inside the nostril, not this outside. So now we keep focusing to the outside. So inside the nostril, or this upper area of the inside, when the inhalation exhalation happen, if you have very clear calmness, you may experience it. So that is one thing. And another thing is, it is inside the body. Another thing is the chest. So when the inhalation exhalation happens, that deeply your chest area and moving physically, and if you have very calm, relaxed mind, you will see your internal organs, how the heart responding. and how the heart move, lungs move according to the inhalation, exhalation. Even sometimes if you stay without moving your body, you can get into deeper experience, even how the blood flow. So we don't go that far, but just I'm telling you that how you can feel it. So otherwise, that how the lungs moving following the inhalation. So the first one here, you feel the touch, and then the next place, your lungs moving up and down. Another thing is your abdominal area. So when the inhalation, exhalation happens, this inside, these things also work. So the internal observation means the external, you stay here, calm down and relax. And then internal observation of inhalation, exhalation means that is what mostly in Zen meditation, there are a lot of Zen meditation techniques based with these 3 steps. They're connecting here, lungs and the abdominal area. They recognize this, all the 3 parts. And so the internal observation mean you recognize these 3 places and how according to inhalation, exhalation, it react. And following and observing that, you recognize this is a inhalation, this is exhalation. This anything you're not doing. When it happen, you recognize. So now you saw how inhalation, exhalation responding as sensation outside. And the second step, internally, you recognize when the inhalation, exhalation happens, how it feel in the inside the nostril and the chest area and then abdominal area. So you observe the sensation and the feelings, and following that you follow the inhalation, exhalation. That is internal. And then the both, when the inhalation, exhalation arise here and at the same time, and then it touch this area, now it become very easy when you interrogate this. So then that lungs and the abdominal area, and the exhalation happens, the abdominal area, lungs, and then the upper area of the inside nostril, and then the outside, the top of your upper lip area sensation. So when you follow this whole system, then that your entire body get into this, and you recognize that this is a natural process. In that natural process, how this entire body responding to this inhalation, exhalation. So that is this following inhalation, exhalation, observing this tranquility level of interrogating this both. So threefold way of mindfulness meditation. And when it go to vipassana, it is deeply, when something happen, you recognize it as a sensation, and at the same time you recognize how 5 aggregates responding to it. For getting to that, you have to have a more calm, relaxed, sharp mind. So we can practice it later, or even yourself, you can practice. As example, it like this. So there is a sound come, bell sound, and you observe the bell sound, and so it is external, and you recognize the 4 elements with the bell: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. And that is why there is a bell exist, and you recognize that. And at the same time, you recognize with the sound come to you. The sound is the form or the matter and the feelings, and according to that perception, and you bring that everything together, the formation, that how you recognize it as a bell sound, and then recognize and you come to the point conclusion, this is a bell sound. So like that, This all happening at once. This both interrogate and experience it. And when you keep doing that way, there is a moment come for you that when you experience something, it happened because of many reasons. And that is a vipassana knowledge. So then when somebody come to you, "Oh, it happened to me," you don't take it like that way. Because you now recognize that, interrogate to the both side, and you start to, because otherwise the other person is stay in one side. And a practice maybe recognize it in a one way, and maybe I got hurt, that is external experience, and somebody hit me, that is in the external, and I got hurt, it is internal explanation. And recognizing this both happen at once is recognizing the cause and effect. It is not that or this, like that, there is no division, just the experience. When it come to that, you get out of the view. So when you get out of the view, you come to a point just to experience. When you see only the experience, you recognize that experience change. So that is another way of access to the same experience. And the mindfulness meditation in threefold way: internally experience, externally experience, interrogate both. So today we're going to practice it with the breathing. In the beginning, you start with the external experience. So that is inhalation, exhalation. And if you see the sensation with the heat, motion, that the long, short, so like that, you just keep observing. And then internal, that see how your body responding to from inside your body to this inhalation, exhalation. And according to the, when the inhalation, exhalation become long, short, heavy, soft, then the body going to be different way going to experience. And then slowly bring the both. You observe the sensation, and at the same time you see how the body also responding to that. So let's practice that today as a tranquility meditation. And whenever you have time, you can get into vipassana level. And when something happen, and you see it as something happen as an incident, and at the same time you see how the respond happening within yourself. But that not going to take you to judge something, come to a conclusion or the idea or a decision. No, you just stay in the middle, your awareness in the middle. So keep your right palm on your left, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times yourself. And say Swapat Veva, or may I be well and happy. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also, think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, externally, internally, and then interrogate the both. So deeply inhale, exhale 3 times and find the sensation, please. So in the beginning, observe external inhalation, exhalation. Just recognize this is inhalation, exhalation through the sensation of it. Slowly bring attention to the internal and see how your body responding to the inhalation, exhalation. So don't try to inhale or exhale, just allow it to happen naturally. And get into the threefold way. Interrogate the inside and outside, internal experience and outside experience, both together. Bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one, out of anger or ill will, wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, to your right side, downward, and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the light, loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, when it comes to our ordinary life, mostly we always depend on our self-experience. And that self-experience we gathered through repetition or when going through a pattern or developing a habit and following something or believing something. And then once we develop that habitual pattern, it becomes our sanskara. For thoughts, there is another word called abhisanskara. So when the thought happens, the thought mostly not going to happen alone. Sanskara means mental formations. Abhi means it bringing its past experience to the present moment. When you have a thought, that means it has your past influence. So there is something like this, there is something like that. So like whatever the experience that you went through, that experience already have an idea regarding whatever the matter or the mind. So then you repeat it. It's kind of like a photocopy. Giving a copy. That doesn't mean the first one or the next one going to erase. So you can keep doing 1,000. So why that we hold it to that? Because we have a believing I am and there is something and it used to be like this. It should will happen like that way. So like that we already get into a pattern. And then so internally we have some experience and we hold into internal view, and then outside certain conditions, and we have a struggle to go with this our internal view with that outside conditions, and then we keep struggling. So during Buddha's time, there was two brothers, right? Chullapantaka and Mahapantaka. The Mahapantaka means elder. So elder brother called Mahapantaka and the younger brother called Chullapantaka. So this both became monks. And the elder brother used to become so skillful monk. And he used to practice things, memorize things. But younger brother had a struggle. He couldn't even memorize any single verse or the any single Dhamma, that any sutta, he didn't remember anything. He had a very busy, disturbed mind. So then one day he got so disappointed and he came to that see this elder brother, and they had a discussion. And then what the elder brother told? The elder brother told, you know, this monk life not work for you. It's better you go back. This is what the elder brother told. So during even Buddha's time, that when it come to our this conventional life, one thing you have to remember, the mostly the difficult things come out of from your same ground, from your own brothers, sisters. Look at the world, mostly people. How many brothers, sisters don't talk each other? And how many brothers, sisters that come against, and even how many brothers, sisters jealous each other, hate each other, and having the wrong believing each other. So even during Buddha's time, the same. And even in the in the Christian history, that as you know, David and Goliath, and the David had capability, and he didn't afraid for the Goliath, but the David brothers told, oh, you go home, you cannot do anything, you go home, you go, don't do anything. So the brothers criticize him and underestimate him, and told that because the David used to bring the food to his brothers, and brothers told, no, 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 you cannot do these things, you go home. And but the David was so smart. What is that? He didn't pick the fight with brothers and sisters, and he picked the fight with the Goliath. So like that, always remember, it giving a very beautiful lesson. What is that lesson? Never get into fight with your husband or wife or children or parents or brothers, sisters or neighbors. Never get, it is worthless. Why? Because you cannot win. And it is dirty. It make you dirty. And it make you more disappointed. You will never end that fight, that kind of fight. So that's why give as soon as possible, accept it and give the win. So see the David, what the David, so it says, don't spend unnecessary energy for unnecessary fight, especially when it comes to the brothers and sisters and the family members. You have to fight husband, wife, the very next day you have to again, stay with them in the same roof, under the same roof. What's the point then fighting? It doesn't matter right or wrong. So whatever they ask, give that. Stay away from that. So during Buddha's time, even in the community of the Sangha, look, the brothers, two brothers, had the same situation. The elder brother told, go home, go home. It doesn't work for you, and criticize him. You are not capable to do this. It always there. So then you have to remember, if something happened to you like that, we don't take it personal. It is the very nature of the world. So only thing is, try to learn these things and know these things and get the lesson out of it, and then be strong yourself. How you can be strong yourself? Because developing a spiritual path and developing yourself, your spirituality, you have to have the strength and the courage. Build up within yourself. That is the very important thing. Not with others. Of course, we need the help. But forget about the help. You need yourself. You need to build up something within yourself when you walk in this path. Why? Especially even in the family. and sometimes even just to be generous person yourself. And maybe if your husband, wife so greedy, children so greedy, parents so greedy, you have to have some strength and the courage to move forward, to be generous. Otherwise, you caught up in that courage. And the hatred, and sometimes families, generations to generations, nations to nations, hate, to carry the hate. And religions to religions, cult to cult, we build up the hatred. So then you have to have the courage to go against that. That doesn't mean you go and fight. No, you take a different road. You have to build up the strength. If you always go with the other people, if you always go with the crowd, you're not going to end. And the ignorance, the whole family may be caught up in ignorance, and then you see that. And the whole village or the whole country, whole nation, and you caught up in the ignorance. You see that. So if you see it, are you going to go with that crowd? Or are you going to slowly find a different path? So if you don't develop the strength and the courage to walk yourself alone, how are you going to do that? So that is one thing when it comes to this spiritual practice. Doesn't matter wherever you are, whoever you are. Sometimes you see this is wrong. This is not the way. You see that, but there is nothing you can do. You are helpless. But remember yourself, determine yourself, brush up yourself, clean yourself, rebuild your life, and have a deeper, strong foundation to yourself. If I have the power to take the decision, I'm not going to take this. Have that. And then what will happen? If your will is that much so strong, if you select the right, one day it's going to come to you. One day it's going to come to you. See, sometimes people just keep telling things. When they keep telling things, and sometimes when they get mad, angry, they keep telling things, and later they do exactly the same thing. And the people will become happy, and they keep doing, keep telling, and one day they do it. It happened. So like that, then you have to remember yourself. If you have the power in this world, just give an answer to yourself. There is no barriers, nothing come against you. You have the 100% total power and strength, capability, abilities, everything to you. What kind of decision you going to take? Just imagine, just think yourself and see. Do you start to take advice from somebody? Then you screwed up. You done. Because then you should understand, you should not wish for that, because you have no idea about it. So don't wish for it. If you don't know what to do, don't ask for that power. So like that, you have to remember yourself in this spiritual path. When you walk, be strong yourself to be alone. Why? Because mostly the difficulties come from the very close people. That is something. The difficulties, all the hindrance, everything tangles, tackle, everything come. Criticizing, blaming, everything come very, very close people. If you get somebody to help and open the path and giving a hand and push you forward, That is a blessing. That is a blessing. But still, you no need to look for that. Only thing is, once you understand it, if you see something, you have to accept it. Just accept it and move forward and just recognize it is encourage you and it giving an opportunity. But what I want to tell, remember, the gaining in a positive way is very, very rare. If you have it, protect it. Remember that. If you have that kind of people around you, protect it. And other thing is, be a person like that. Never ever, and tackle or never ever put any hindrance or criticize your brothers, sisters, or your husband, wife, or your children, but brothers, even the neighbors. Never do that. Always, if there is something that they cultivating, they developing and moving forward with the profitable way, give a hand, appreciate that. So that is your duty. That is what you're learning. And that will help you. Sometimes it is difficult, but that is what we have to practice. It is a kind of like you cleaning yourself also. So anyhow, look at this during Buddha's time. So what happened to this elder brother? Mahapantaka told to this Chullapantaka, this younger monk, told, go home, go home. This doesn't work for you. What are you doing here? And then he got because this young little monk, and he didn't want to go home. And then he got disappointed. His own brother tried to tell him to go back. And then he got disappointed and in the evening went to Buddha in the morning. So then the Buddha told, this community of Sangha not belong to your brother. This community of Sangha belong to Dhamma and me. That everyone follow my teachings, not your brother's teaching. You became a monk not because of your brother. So forget about him. See, that's what the Buddha taught. So then when it come to the Dhamma, if you see the right, that's why you have to have the power to stand for that truth. That build up something in you. That is very important. Then otherwise, don't go with because of your husband, wife, children, parents, brothers, sister. Don't go in the wrong way. If you see this is wrong, forget about that. So always find whatever the right path. So then the Buddha told, don't worry about it. Just do as I tell. And then what the Buddha said? And Buddha gave a little piece of cloth, white cloth, and told to this monk early in the morning when the sun rise, and rubbing this piece of cloth and start to do practice meditation. It is a kind of like exercise. Rub this cloth and keep observing the cloth and rub the cloth. And then this monk start to do it. When the sun rise early in the morning, he got this piece of cloth, white cloth, and start to rub it. And telling Rajo Haranang, Rajo Haranang. So, and then what happened little by little, this little monk saw this piece of cloth, because when he keep rubbing, what happened? The sun start to rise and the hand start to get sweat and warm and get sweat, and because of that all the dirt start to get into that white cloth, and that cloth became little by little dirty. And observing that, what happened? This little monk attained to the enlightenment. See, that is what we talked today in the beginning. Interrogating inside and outside. So we don't see that what is inside us. But when you apply it to outside, we're going to recognize. So that little monkey didn't see the dirt that everything stuck in his hand. And he got the piece of cloth. And then he was keep rubbing. He understood. The piece of cloth got dirt. Listen this very carefully. This is the point, key point. That piece of cloth get dirt not because of that piece of cloth. It got dirt because of the dirt stuck in his hand, his own hand. So the same thing with us. If we get the hurt, if we have the joy, pleasure, anger, hatred, ignorance, it is not because of the outside world. We have inner conditions to interrogate with that and bring that result again and again and again. That is what you have to understand. Even whatever you experience, in that very moment to experience that, you need internal experience. There is internal interference with your experience. This is what you have to see. But mostly we always struggling and fighting and trying to change the outside world. So to how this monk became that much so sharp, because one of the previous life, he was a king. So this is the history came, because that whatever we develop in our mind as a mental condition, it going to come with us. So whatever we practice as in our mind, it's going to be with us. So he was a king. And one day they were gathering. All other kings around other kingdoms came. And then this king was little late. And he was putting his all the costume and garment and jewelry, everything. And then he was little bit hurried because he was late. Everybody waiting for him. And then he was wearing his all the garments and enter to the assembly. And then everybody, when he was talking to everyone, he saw there was a little dirt stuck in his costume, that the garment. And he was more concerned regarding it, and because in front of everybody, he cannot remove it. But he knew, and he was focusing to that more than the outside. And internally, he observing it. Oh, if other people see this, if other kings see this, it is not good for me. So like that, he was so focused and moving very carefully without showing that. See, that his mind was so sharp to focus to that. And that became a habit. And that's why when the dirt came out of that white cloth, that previous memory, because for the dirt, he was so concerned. And right away, that mental ability, what happened? It recharged. And then it is stuck with this. And that bring the tranquility state, and through that tranquility state, little by little, mind, body, breathing start to become one, and then the 5 hindrance disappears, and then the first absorption, the third absorption, second absorption, third absorption, fourth absorption, through all the mental, high mental powers, and little by little, he get into the vipassana and recognize the impermanent. So, the interrogating inside and outside, connection, recognizing the connection and see the cause and effect, because mostly we think, oh, this is me, this is mine, this is I am, I do whatever I want, this is my life. But we don't see how our parents sacrifice for us, how other people help for us, and even this nature help for us. We don't see. People think, oh, we are the masters. I am the boss. I can do whatever I want. That's what we people think. That's why they destroy this everything. They don't see it is a part of the life. People don't care this the breathing happened because of the nature. They don't care. So they think, oh, I want to do whatever I want. Oh, I want to have fun because this is my life. But they don't understand how the parents sacrifice so much, how their brothers, sisters sometimes sacrifice a lot of things, and how the husband, wife sacrifice everything, and sometimes other person have no idea. And sometimes how the children sacrifice things because of their parents. They have no idea. They think, oh, everything I am like that. So interrogating this and recognizing when something happens and deeply observing and recognizing and these things, and mostly your past experience have a connection to this, and then deeply the way you accept these outside situations and bring a new situation, the way you accept this outside situation bring a new situation. Otherwise there is nothing new. This new means this both things, the outside and inside, mixing and come something, mixing and come something. So this is the world that we go through. So when it comes to this, the Vipassana practice, that what you have to understand through this story, that remember that first thing is the way that to everything that whatever happening inside us, there is a reason within ourselves. So don't point out to the outside world. But at the same time, that we have to have the outside experience and interrogate to see that. Otherwise, we cannot see it. So this both we need. Somebody need to disturb us to see we have this quality within us. And then we recognize. Otherwise, we're not going to see it. So this whatever outside happening, always remember, it always part of the Dharma. Don't take it anything as an enemy, because the way you look, the way you accept can change things. Take it as a part of the Dharma. It's trying to tell you something about you, and try to learn it. So then any situation become an opportunity for you to become a better person. So then always remember, little by little, little by little, whenever you have opportunity, rather than separating thing and hold it to the self-centered mind, start to see the connection, see the cause and effect. And that way, in that understanding, it will help you to get out of the self-centered mind. Once you get out of the self-centered mind, you're going to settle down in the Dharma. Once you settle down in the Dharma, you never go backward. So that is where your transformation happened. That is where your liberation happened, which we call ultimate bliss of Nibbana. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabrogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. ittavata ca ammi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.